Origin of thought through energy conversion. Paragraph 1. The journey of exploration into our creativity revealed our thoughts appear to originate from two sources. One source is to utilize existing flow of energy within creation. Using the existing flows of energy is about converting the energy we sense as a human being into thoughts, utilizing our mind and our creative imagination. The second source is through what can be called causal consciousness. This is about a flow of energy to create something not previously seen or experienced, which is then characterized by our mind into a thought or thoughts to manifest to act on the energy to create an object or experience. In either case, the energy is characterized by the mind and its creative imagination as thoughts. This particular discussion is about the energy flows of creation which we access and give rise to our thoughts. At first glance, it seems to be relatively straightforward to say, utilizing the existing flows of energy within creation, the mind's characterization is based upon our mind converting the energy we sense into thoughts. That said, we could stop here. What is said would be adequate for most individuals. However, it would not allow one to move towards accessing the depth and breadth of their creative ability and creative power. To address accessing the energy of creation that can give rise to our thoughts, there is the need to address and understand a variety of topics which we use to characterize the energy we access, which also includes what energy we access and how the energy can be accessed. To understand the process of creating thoughts, we need to realize that any thought we have from experiencing a flow of energy will have two parts. The thought has a real part and an imaginary part. The real part is a result of the flow of energy that is giving rise to the experience we have and is what we feel in the experience. The feeling is real. This is relatively easy to understand. However, we also need to understand we are often not aware of what we are feeling and sensing, so we are not often aware of why we have the thoughts we do. The imaginary part is our mind's interpretation through its creative imagination of the experience of that flow of energy. The illusion of mind is that mind uses all that it has within itself without thinking of how it will characterize the energy. It appears to look at all the information it has and looks for the best fit to match up the energy it experiences. The more the energy is different than anything it has previously experienced, the greater the inaccuracy in the characterization. Any experience of this signal by the brain is an illusion created by the mind by what it thinks and believes. If we have different beliefs and different experiences, we would characterize the energy differently. It is the mind's characterization of the energy we sense into thoughts through our creative imagination. The creative imagination bases its characterization on what we think, believe, the experiences we have had in this and previous existences, our current environment, how we have focused our attention and awareness, and our underlying intention, which we hold with some passion, desire, or will to make happen. Each of these aspects influence the characterization of the energy into thoughts. By varying one or more of these aspects, we can change the thought which is generated from a given energy. Beginning with the energy we sense from observations within physical creation, everything runs on energy. Everything we experience, no matter what it is, arises from a flow of energy. Without the movement a flow of energy provides, there is nothing to observe. What it means is for any energy that we sense, it can be characterized into a thought. Whether we can create thoughts from every energy we sense and why we do not is not the question here. Rather, the question is, why do we selectively sense some of the energies we sense into thoughts as we do, as opposed to sensing and characterizing all the possible energies that could be selected? It is probably clearly understood physical creation is quite vast, but any energy flow existing within physical creation perceived can be characterized by the human mind into a thought. However, the journey of exploration into our creativity suggests the human being consists of a mind, a body, and a creative life energy that some would call a spirit, are specially designed for sensing and amplifying a particular type and kind of energy or range of energies that ultimately determines our receptiveness to the energy of physical creation, to give us experiences as a human, and in particular to access the energies for the experiences we incarnated to have. Analogously, it is much like an electromagnetic spectrum of which visible light is only a very small fraction of the entire spectrum that we can see. With instrumentation, we have expanded that range of energies that can be detected. Nevertheless, it is still only some fraction of what exists. So too the energies of physical creation. The vastness of physical creation is beyond human conception, as is the vastness of creation itself. If you do not believe this, just try and visualize infinity. Although there is a vast number of energies available, the normal human only experiences and perceives a small portion of what is available, and even a smaller portion is characterized into thoughts. Since we each are very unique, and the perceptions we have is a unique subjective perception for what we came here to do, one of the challenges we face is learning how to communicate with another who perceives differently. Also, because of the way the human is constructed, the energy we normally sense tends to hold our awareness localized in physical experience of a human being. Alternatively said, our body and human mind causes us to interpret the energy we sense into thoughts about being a human being, or from the perspective of a human being, as opposed to being an infinite creator and routinely going into other realms of creation as that creator. Although it is possible to experience energies from other realms of creation that is not normally done as humans, the reason for this is how our mind characterizes the energy. Additionally, whatever the human does perceive outside the normal human range will be interpreted through the human perception and will be unable to adequately characterize anything that lies outside the human experience. As said above, the energy is characterized based upon what we think and believe, the experiences we have had in this and previous existences, our current environment, how we have focused our attention and awareness, and our underlying intention, which we hold with some passion, desire, or will to make happen, all of which are integrated by the human mind. The human is capable of accessing energies from a multitude of different sources and a much greater range of energies, which can be accessed and the information extracted than humans currently access with their current focus. However, there has not been a paradigm for humans to use and understand the full potential that really spans the depth and breadth as to what is possible to access. This is, of course, brings up the question, what does the paradigm look like to allow us to expand our range of perception? Although it was hoped the journey of exploration into our creativity would reveal a paradigm that covered the depth and breadth of what is possible to experience and how creation works did not materialize, in essence, our limited human mind cannot fully grasp the infinite aspects of creation. Yet there are pieces that can be understood sufficiently to create an effective analogy, model, story, simile, metaphor, or other description that can be used in our creativity and our life. The journey revealed quite a few of the aspects that would be a piece in such a paradigm. It was much like finding individual pieces of a huge jigsaw puzzle scattered all over the place, one piece at a time. Some of the pieces seemed to connect with each other, whereas others seemed to be outliers, indicating there are many pieces missing. Yet the explanation offered by the pieces are at best only an approximation, very effective and useful in some areas, but ineffective, if not an actual liability, in other areas. It all depends on what one desires to experience. In any case, it is appropriate to discuss some of the aspects previously stated that the mind used to characterize the energy it experiences into thoughts to expand the range of our thoughts to explore an expanded range of possible options. The characterization is based upon what we think and believe is probably the biggest factor in creating the thoughts we have. If we do not have an open thinking willing to explore options, or at least ask the questions, are other options available, the thoughts we have will be very much based upon automatic response. Similarly, if we are not willing to look at different beliefs, if only to, quote, stretch ourselves past fixed ways of thinking, again, our thoughts will be more response-based than conscious-based choices. Additionally, when we do not look at our thinking process, the beliefs we have and what other possible options may exist, we end up hardwiring attitudes, beliefs, perceptions into our brain. Yet it is known there is a neuroplasticity to the brain, and change is always possible. We do not have to be condemned to recreate our past in a new way rather than moving past our past. The experiences we have had in this existence tend to lay dormant in our memories and get revealed in our behaviors, emotional reactions, and habits. These are very much related to the automatic responses we have in life, where we function as a creativity machine, continually repeating the past in a new version of itself. Here it is a matter of being mindful and aware to recognize these memories and patterns as they arise, and then look to change them if they are not serving the life we wish to create. The previous existences we have had which influence creating our thoughts tend to show up in patterns and preferences which seem to have nothing or at least little to do with this lifetime that we have lived. Similarly, intense dislikes or discomforts with no rational basis could be related to past life memories laying close to the surface of our subconscious mind. When we experience an energy that has a strong similarity to something of the past, we respond as if it occurred in this life. This, of course, would bias the thoughts we have about what we are experiencing in the moment. One thing that can have a great influence on the thought is our current environment. Quite simply, if you experience a feeling of hunger and you are on a street with a variety of restaurants, your thoughts about hunger will be different than if you're out in the country road miles from any restaurants. So too for any energy we experience. Wherever we are will influence that thought that is generated by the environment in which we find ourselves. How we have focused our attention and awareness influences the thoughts we have in a variety of ways. If we are stuck in traffic and we're trying to get to a meeting, we will have quite a different set of thoughts than if we were on a leisurely drive, not in any rush to get anywhere, stuck in the same traffic. The focus of our attention and awareness is quite different for the same energy and environment. If we are awake and aware and present to our thoughts, we will see how our attention and awareness is focused in a given direction more often than we realize. Relative to the focus of our attention and awareness, but operating at a deeper level, is any underlying intention we hold with some passion, desire, or will to make happen. As such, what we experience is greatly influenced by the intention we hold. In many ways, our underlying intention can act at an unconscious level as a search radar looking for opportunities or as a general direction for our life. As a search radar, if we hold the intention to make a lot of money, we will always be looking at the unconscious level for what opportunities present themselves on which we could act to make money. If we hold the intention to become unconditional love, the best we know how, we will routinely see opportunities to act in a loving way, not expecting anything in return. Our actions could be simply as saying hello to a stranger and wishing them well on a wonderful day. Each of the aspects discussed influence the characterization of the energy into thoughts. By varying one or more of these aspects, we can change the thought which is generated by a given energy. If we are mindful and aware, we will be aware of many of the thoughts which arise when they arise. In that awareness, we can pull the string and ask, why do I have this particular thought, or from what characterization did this thought come or arise? Then, in that awareness, we have the choice to change what gave rise to that thought if we wish.